Hey friends, welcome back to Museful Creations. Today we're transforming a plain old 9 by 12 envelope into a bold botanical junk journal using my digitals, a no-sew fabric spine, and just a few brads to bind it all together. We'll walk through every step of the build, plus I'll show you all the embellishments I designed to match this color palette. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. Let's dive in. Okay, you're either going to use a 9 by 12 envelope of choice, or you can improvise and cut your 12 by 12 cardstock 9 by 12. And we're going to score on the 9-inch side at 4 and 1/4, okay? And then 4 and 3/4, okay? Then you're going to turn your paper on to the 12 side. You're going to score at 5 5 and 3/4, and then you're going to score at 6, just like so. Now you're going to fold your envelope in half, okay, on the 12-inch side, just like that. See that there? I folded that in half. I'm literally, I just came up with this idea and I'm going with the flow. You're going to cut, you can either use your scissors. Sometimes I can do a straight um, line with my scissors, but I think I want to play it safe and I want to use my trimmer. And what I want to do is from the bottom of the envelope, okay, I'm going to cut up to that score line, okay? And so what you're going to do is cut it in the middle as best as you can. That's what I did, as I shared earlier. And then what you're going to do, going to put the two flaps together and you're going to score these lines here like so, because that is going to be your middle spine. Okay, this way, score that. Okay, just so. Before we proceed, you may want to consider using your corner rounder to apply on the top corners of the envelope. I used a larger rounder and I used the smallest rounder there. Next are the front and the back covers, and you're going to need two. You're going to cut two pieces of cardstock at 5 inch by 5.5 inch, and you're going to score on the 5 inch side at 1/4 inch, then at 5/8 of an inch. And super important that you take your bone folder and you crease those score lines. I cannot emphasize the importance of doing that. And also, something that I did is if you want to round the corners a little bit, I would do that here. It just
Now
makes it
it's completely up to
easier,
you if you
in
want to
my opinion,
use
but it's totally
cardstock
optional.
that it already has artwork on it, scrapbook paper. I want to use my digitals that I'm going to be offering free on my Ko-Fi, and I'm going to cover both the front and the back of these two panels. Okay, crafty friends, take five. I am trying to say that I distressed all the edges of this funky envelope situation that I'm trying to journal, if you will. But I used my instant coffee with rubbing alcohol and water solution. And because it's white, I need to keep it as far away as possible from the camera. And I like that effect, kind of like splattered paint, if you will. And it's still a little wet. So I will be drying this a little bit more with my heat tool. You don't have to do this, but it's just a little tip if you. Now you're going to take your cardstock of choice. I'm using newsprint. super inexpensive, and I like the feel, and also how my pen writes on the and what you're going to do, this is a no stitch journal, envelope journal. So you're going to add 2 or 3 brads on this spine. Okay, take 5. You'll want to use some panels of your cardstock or paper digital of choice. And what you'll do next is this will be considered the front of what I'm doing. Do it however you'd like. It says the opening, so you don't want to cover this one, you don't want to cover the back. Cover this one, this one, this one, this one. You won't cover this one, you won't cover this one. Sorry for the Now you're going to use 1/2 inch fabric tape, washi tape. You can use regular fabric if you'd like, or gaffer's tape, which is one of my favorites, but I wanted to change this up a little bit. And I want that part of that spine, if you will, to have some heft and some strength from the flip and flopping back motion. Okay. And then and I'm using 49 and Market fabric tape, and I believe it's the Spectrum Gardenia uh, um, line. I've had this in my stash for a very long time. So again, to recap, I'm using a 1/2 inch, and then I'm using, I believe it's about 1.5 inch fabric tape. Now we're going to add the front cover. And what I learned, because I was so excited, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is turning out so wicked awesome. I don't want to wait for the glue to dry, but it's really important that you allow the glue to dry and that when you first apply enough glue so that it does adhere to that part of the envelope, if you will. And be patient because I wasn't patient and I learned the hard way. So it took longer for things to assemble because I did not allow those flaps of the spine to dry appropriately. Here are the printables, the embellishments that I'm sharing that are part of the free digital on my Ko-Fi. And I think these turned out so sweet. So here is a look at the finished cover. As I left things off, I was going to add the back cover. And as I said, it started as a basic 9 by 12 mailer. I added the front, back panels using the printables, and I used these brads to keep, so not so, but to basically hold the signatures. And I think it turned out pretty neat without needing to take out my machine or sewing machine or embroidery floss. But let me show you how it opens up. And again, this is the front panel. I did use some of the washi tape that's part of the kit, and I did a little bit of stamping. And here is a little kind of tuck spot, if you will. And these mini cards are also part of the postcards are part of the kit. And then I also made a 4, believe there's 4 of these journaling cards so that you can jot your thoughts if you'd like. And I know I didn't cover the inside of the envelopes just yet, and that's why you see some of the white. And I'm trying to like not blind you, but it's totally optional if you want to cover that afterwards or before you assemble some of these panels. Then I have here the writing board that I love to add these to my journals, and it fits nicely. Let me show you behind page to jot down your thoughts. And I did add a little bit of lace, and I'll show you here. And I mean, you could add lace everywhere if you'd like. But there's a little bit of lace here. And see, this is the 9 by 12 envelope, if you that we turned into a journal. So what I did here is I took some of the labels, I added a little brad, then just glued it onto the side, and these come in and out. I did the same thing here. I know it's on the other side. And then I use some of the tabs, strips that are in the kit, and it will hold nicely. But look how neat you can actually document on these. And just the pictures are stunning. And then when you this way, you have another little side pocket here. You can add your things if you'd like. And then in the middle of each pocket, you'll find that there are more journaling cards. So I would love to hear in or read your comments. Would you try this? Would you like me to try other envelope techniques? Um, Definitely, I would love to hear from you. So for now, this is all. I want to thank you for spending your time with me. And until next time, stay useful. I'll see you in your future. Take care.